All right.
Morning and welcome to the Stoney Love Atlanta Morning Show, and I am your host today, Stoney Love. Happy Wednesday to you all that are watching, and we are doing better with time today. And as you know, as I promised, we have in the studio smoking word artist Bernice Venom Brown will be speaking with us about her career, and she will be sharing with us some of her spoken words, or should I say smoking words. Now, as you know, if you've been watching the show from the beginning, I would do a little bit of news and abreast you on what's going on around the world, and people have been asking for that, so let me get back to the originality here. So in the world news today, Las Vegas woman who was driving on I-285 said that she was shot at while she was driving. And a DeKalb County man who was wanted on murder charges was arrested 80 miles away from where he allegedly killed his victim at a landscaping job. And a possible domestic violence leaves one person dead in Jonesboro, Georgia this morning. And in health news, poor sense of smell is linked to increased mortality rate, and obesity in children has a risk of anxiety and depression. And there has been 704 cases of measles outbreak, more so than it has been in 25 years before. And in celebrity entertainment, Dr. Phil apologizes for his comments in regards to the college admissions. And I'm sure you guys have been following that college scam where the people make false statements on applications for loans. The feds ain't no joke, so y'all need to stop playing with the people and their money. And R. Kelly, yes, y'all already know. We're going to talk about him. Missed his court date the other day, and his attorneys are saying that the reason why he did so was because he can't read. Now, I'm not buying that one because there are a slew of people in the house, and I know you can get the mail out the mailbox and say, hey, what that say? Tell me where I gotta be at. What those people talking about? Knowing that you in trouble. So now, R. Kelly, I'm asking you to, I know you follow me on Twitter. I'm gonna ask you to get yourself together, and you know, I fight for you, but certain things, I'm not gonna. You already know. So let somebody read your mail. It's okay. My mother was illiterate, and when she couldn't understand something, she said, "Hey, baby, check that out for me. What bill I gotta pay? Who these people are?" So it's no excuses. If you can't read, there are other senses that God has given you that works. So, and that's for everybody. Because I'm not against illiterate people. Trust me, I love them all. There are a bunch of them in my family, and I love them. But anyway, so we have spoken word artist Bernice Venom Brown this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I want to say thank you so much for being a part of the Stoney Love Atlanta Morning Show. And it was a pleasure when I met you from day one up until now. And I just want to say thank you. And I'm going to give you the mic because I got a lot of questions for you.
Okay, cool.
And I'd rather for them to hear you than me. Hold on.
Okay.
And I'm always saying, hold on, like I'm passing the phone. I do that every day. You would think, you know, I would be used to that by now. So, tell me,
Bernice, Venom, whichever one is fine. Yeah.
yes, I like Venom because you
Okay.
know, like when you spitting that venom, you giving us that word, it's coming at you. And I like that name. That's
Yeah.
a beautiful, beautiful name.
Yeah, it
Because
means a hunting arsenal in the case of self-defense. That's actually what venom is.
Okay.
A hunting arsenal in the case of self-defense.
Wow. But I like it because I feel like when you get ready to open your mouth, you're about to deliver something. It sounds like it. So like I'm already buckled up. I've already braced myself because it seems like just listening to your tone that you're full of so much good stuff that you want to share.
Yeah. Finally, I got to the good stuff.
Yes.
Transitioning, in order to find what space the world holds for me. So it's been a journey, and I'm still journeying.
So when did you become awake and to know that it was time to go on that journey? Because we go through things to get through that awakening point.
Right. So I had a cousin that was murdered December 28, 2000, and then a couple of months after we buried him, I just woke up, between the hours of 3, 5, and I kept doing it. 3 a.m., 5 a.m. I just kept doing it, and I was writing things, poems. So when I would wake up in the morning and I would read them, I didn't have any recollection of writing them. And I was using terminologies like third eye. I had no idea what that meant at the time. And then it just kind of went from there. So like in his passing was the coming of my awakening. That was the beginning of it, that I took notice of, that I actually knew what was going on. But I've always been like, as a youngster, clairvoyant. I'm a clair also, so just clairvoyant and having premonitions and stuff like that. So, it just kind of started from that,
Now, being an empath or clairvoyant, it seems like those people suffer the most because, they endure. I wouldn't say suffer, but you endure a lot because heaven knows that you're ready for the journey. So, and I wouldn't classify myself as one, but I'm very spiritual and I'm inclined to so many things that a lot of people they're asleep. Now, it's like when you're talking to people that are asleep, they don't understand you. They don't hear that. Like when I say I hear you before you've even said anything about what you have going on, what you do, I'm already ready for the word because I'm awake.
Yeah, some people, they don't listen with the ear behind the ear, so that's why they can't hear.
Wow.
They can't tap into that. Because, like when you're tapped into your higher self, people who operate on a lower frequency, they're not going to be able to, see you at your eye level or, your third eye scope at all. So I'm kind of used to it. But I refuse to dumb down my conversation just to communicate, Google it.
Now, I like what you just said. You said, dumb down? Wow. I just learned something new today. I like that terminology. Wow, dumb down. I can't wait to hit somebody with that one. Because, I know somebody going to come at me with something this week.
You know how they say, like, you can learn a lot from a dummy, because you really can.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a difference between being stupid and being dumb. You know what I mean? So.
And also with being naive as well.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. Now, your spoken word, how often do you perform?
I don't perform a lot. Right now I don't, but really soon I'll be back on the scene like full throttle. I haven't been doing it for a while, and like I was saying earlier, so I represent female empowerment because I talk about my true life testaments, like things that I've been through. And for a long time, I was in a domestic relationship when I was on the scene. I was very well known, very popular, moved around, everybody knew me, face card heavy, all of that, my name strong. And then I just made a decision to just step off of the scene because I wasn't being true to myself. And I want to always remain true to who I am. So I just took a back seat, and in that time, I dropped like 16 books. I dropped them all at the same time. I believe I dropped them in 2015 or 2016. And it was just a compilation of over 700 or 800 poems that I had been writing over 13, 14 years. And then I just dropped my books and then a couple of other little challenges in life or whatnot. And now it's gonna start really soon. So this will be the beginning of it, right? Actually, I'm sitting here, we'll manifest it right here.
That's right.
So yeah.
That's right. Now, things that you've gone through in your life prior to 2015 and when you were doing that, we'll say that massive writing that you went through. Are some of those things, the trials and tribulations, are they reflected in your books?
All of them. Every time I speak up on the mic is true to my life. Every poem in my book is a true life testament. So when you read my books, you're reading my life. Like it's the diary of my life. None of it is made up. It just happens to be in a poetic format.
Okay.
But none of it is falsified. It's not altered. It's exactly what I went through. I talk about being raped. I talk about being addicted to pharmaceutical meds. I talk about being partially paralyzed. I talk about my autistic son, about the absence of my father, about being a mother of a homosexual child. I talk about my whole entire life because people need to hear things that are real versus all of this holographic BS. You know, all of that stuff isn't real, and a lot of people, they live in 3D. They don't know anything about 5D, so
Yeah.
I just tell them what's
I
real.
try not to live in 3D as much because that's all in my head. And that's true. A lot of people are walking around in the 3D land, and they need to elevate to the 5D in their higher self. Now, I want to ask you this. You mentioned your autistic son. How is it being a mom of an autistic child? Is that, you find that challenging or?
Never. I feel like, first of all, I feel very blessed to know that such a being manifested in my womb. That's the first thing. He's 26 years old. He was 3 months premature. Yeah, thank you. He weighed 1 pound 15 ounces, born with water on the brain, fluid on his lungs, 3 holes in his heart, kidney stones, a double hernia, and he wasn't diagnosed until he was 2. But I always knew that something was different. I never said that anything was wrong. I've never said that he was handicapped, always handicapable. You know, 4th grade, he tapped into the school district security system. He happened to get to go to college out of my 3 children, you know, Cave Springs. And right now he just attends a day program, but he's actually has his first fashion show coming up. Yeah, he's gonna be walking. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I'm impressed by that. But it's not really challenging for me. I feel like, you know, you gotta play, you know, the cards that you're dealt. You know, you can't renege, you can't cheat to win, you can't just try to break even. You know, you just gotta win, you know, at any cost. So I think like having a child like that, it made me like a stronger person and a better parent. Because before that, I wasn't really, I'm not gonna say I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing, but he kind of like tapped me into this whole spiritual thing. Like his aura is crazy. Like his being just commands, you know, people's attention, like effortlessly. So that's my dude. Like I love my son. He's so cool.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, your other children, are they very receptive towards him, or did you find that challenging where maybe they felt as if you were giving him all the attention and like, hey mom, we need you too? You know, how did that work in the home?
Man, I'm so glad you asked me that because I hope they will watch this. I personally feel like they felt like I made a difference, and I did because they're different. I can't treat everybody the same. Everybody doesn't have the same needs. You know, if you're a stubborn person, I can only treat you accordingly. You know, if you're a great person, I can only treat you accordingly. So I feel like they felt like I showed him more attention, but you know, it wasn't for maybe the reason that they may have felt.
Right.
But I know that they do love him. Like he's crazy about his brother. You know, he's the youngest also. And then he only has one sister. I have a daughter and she's 30. So yeah. Yeah,
The more you throw out these ages, and then when I look at you, you look fabulous.
Thank you.
Wow. So now, do you find that as you have gotten older, to keep up your health regimen and to maintain your health and a healthy weight, do you find that difficult? Because like I heard you say this morning, I'm gonna go work out today.
I don't find it difficult, especially knowing that your health is your wealth. Because you can have all the money in the world, but if you're unhealthy, I mean, what's it all for? Mm-hmm. So I think like that's the money. The money is in your health. You could look around. People are buying hearts. They buying kidneys. So you gotta stay healthy. And I mean, I like it. You know, I don't like, people don't know I'm 48. Because I don't even feel like age is real. My friend, we talk about this all the time, how age is not real.
I would say that too. because I'm trailing you by a year, and it's like I don't feel 47. The only thing that slows me down is my weight. But if I was 30, 40 pounds lighter, I wouldn't even be able to feel this, because it's like, it really is just a number. And as I look back on life, and I'm like, wow, what am I going to be like 40 more years from now if I keep taking care of myself and keep spiritually? Because it's really, it's about feeding that spirit as well that keeps us the age from progressing. Because those meditations and those chats with the higher power gives us a sense of relief, and it takes so much age off of you because you're no longer stressing. Stress is the number one killer. I don't care how much money you have.
It's a silent killer too.
It really is. I don't stress about anything. And there are so many things that when I get up, I go without, but I know it's for a purpose to be more grateful and to have more gratitude. And people that have gratitude eventually end up with more, because they're not sitting here counting, oh, I have 3 pieces of paper, what am I going to do?
Yeah, because you're going to be rich in spirit before
Right.
you'll ever be rich in wealth.
That's true.
That's where the abundance is, being rich in spirit. And about what you were saying about, as far as working out, it's so funny because the other day I was running. I just started running.
Oh, I love running.
So I started running, and all of a sudden I started having an out-of-body experience to where I didn't even feel like I was running anymore. I was floating. It felt like I was floating or flying. And it was funny because I was saying out loud to myself, like, run, girl, run, run, girl, run. And I just kept saying it. It was crazy. I ran like 10 city blocks without stopping.
When you're running, you're in the 3D. Believe it or
Okay.
not. Trust me, because I used to be an avid runner. And every time I would run, I would do 3 miles every morning. That was my goal every day, 5 days a week. But when you're running, your mind you're manifesting. So you're in the 3D. You're not here. You are floating, and you're running, and you're getting to the finish line. And once you get to that finish line and you know you've made it, then you go to the 5D.
Yeah, it's crazy because, and I jump rope too. I jump rope 1,000 a day.
I was never able to man up that. I wasn't able to really get that one down.
I love that. It raises my vibrations. That's what I do every morning.
Mm-hmm.
I jump rope 1,000 every morning. And
Right.
yeah, I would do it on Facebook Live, and they were like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Like, I was at a hair show, and this girl came up to me and was like, that's the jump rope lady. I was like, what? Like, she was like, girl, me and my friend got jump ropes. She was like a young girl. She was like in her 20s. Yeah. And she said,
I was never able to master that. Now, I had a personal trainer once. So, they would tell you, if you can't do the jump rope, then you do the imaginary
Right.
to get it in. And I was able to do that, but just trying to do the jump rope, my coordination is just off. So.
Oh, my equilibrium ain't SHI, okay?
Wow. So I want to hear something from you today, if you will. Will you share one of your smoking words?
Okay, so I'll just do this piece right here because it's about my son. Where am I looking? Am I looking here? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Do I have to look?
You don't have to.
So this one right here is called Unspoken Words. And they said you probably never speak. Although it took 4 long years, or shall I say 208 weeks, in their eyes you were never supposed to be the intelligent human being that you are to me. But who are they to tell us that you are just a maybe baby, a might fighter? We did all we can do, kid. Much more than that you are. You're like a knight in shining armor, star so bright you lighten up my life. A God-sent child like baby Jesus, so precious in my sight. Before the spoken words came, body language, facial expressions, gestures. Unspoken words from my baby boy. No love lost, no added pressure. Because I've always heard the words, even the ones you'd never speak. Through your eyes, your smiles, your hugs, and through the dimples in your cheeks. Those silence is golden, from underwater ye shall emerge, with unspoken words being nothing more than words left unheard. Peace on that, y'all.
Wow.
Thank you.
I love that.
Thank you.
Man, that is so. I feel that.
Thanks. It's necessary, it's needed. I feel like they're overdiagnosing our boys. It's like a modern day genocide. I feel like they're just trying to keep them chemically induced so that they won't be able to, communicate in order to help reproduce, help us procreate and reproduce.
Let me elaborate on that there. I'm very, very much with you on that. They have found so many ways to oppress our African American young men. When one part of slavery wouldn't do and we were freed from that, then it became, the education to keep them trapped so they couldn't read and write. We get through that, so more people begin to educate themselves and educate and be educated. College, they go to another level. The black man is the most feared man. He really is, because they already know his power, even without the education, even without the money. They know his mind. His inner strength is so powerful. The only way someone will try to stop you is if they already know what your capabilities are.
Oh, true. Definitely true.
So when someone already know what you're capable of, they will do everything they can to keep you from succeeding. So our African American young men have faced so many things, from not receiving the proper education, not being able to have good jobs. All of those are a form of slavery, and to keep them in a limited mental state. And I must say, in the early 90s, when they were giving out all of these Social Security checks, the millennial young men today, most of them are trapped on SSI because their parents were told, oh, something's wrong with your child. There's something wrong with him, so let us give him this medicine. Let us give him this the shots, and here's a check.
That's so true. And my thing, I'm not for it. I'm not against it. To each his own.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing, especially for autism, there is no known medical cause or no known medical cure for it.
But that's a difference. But when I say the children that are capable,
exactly,
are capable. And some of the autism may have come from the shots. We don't know particularly. But those parents do need some sort of income for their child. But I'm talking about the children who were having behavior problems, one because the father is out of the home.
True.
And so when you take them to a psychological evaluation,
then
now,
EBDs, emotionally behavioral disorders,
so now they're saying,
understand.
oh, well, just here's some medicine, and you qualify under the guidelines of the law, a Social Security check. So now we're looking at these millennial men, young black men.
Right.
Now they're programmed.
Right.
Oh, I get a check. I don't have to work.
I feel like they need to create programs.
Right. So now they can't get out of that mentality.
That mindset.
Right. So $700-800 now they're boxed in because now the government has been taking care of them. That's another form of slavery.
Exactly.
And so then also we have the fathers who've gone before them, who were in prison.
Right.
And so now those young men have no guidance, so now they're acting out. So now they're going to follow the father's footsteps. Again, another form of slavery.
It's a domino effect.
Right.
And it is, like you're saying, mental enslavement.
Right. So now we have all these African American men, young men, who are in different categories of slavery, which is worldwide, and nothing can be done about it because some people aren't aware of what's happening.
That's true.
And so now we have a lack of us men for our young women to date, because either half of them are on welfare and cannot provide for the young woman or the child. He's in prison, but he's free, but he's limited because his thought process is limited.
Right.
So he's already been boxed in a cage. He can't go get a job, and if he go get a job, it's a minimum wage job. And then if he make too much money, they're gonna cut the check off. So again, he's in prison. And so then you have it's so many classifications of, you got this, then you have the young men who are now confused about their sexuality. So then now there isn't anybody for the young lady today. I
respect black men.
So he's in prison. So we got all of these in prison young black men. So when a woman finds a man, she's fighting over him. She was like, hey, straight. He's this. He ain't been to jail.
Right. Or they'll share them. I mean,
because because they're like, it's okay.
Right.
You have him on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I have him this day.
Like
because
for the weekend.
Right.
Right.
Because it's not enough to go around.
Right.
So now that has become okay.
Exactly. It's the norm.
Now it is
the norm.
Now, back when our parents were, dating or married, they were called mistresses and not side chicks.
Yeah.
Because at that time, during that time, the man was still providing for the mistress's house,
right,
and mama's house.
I had no comment for that, right? When I was growing up.
Right. And
No
I shouldn't
comment
either
for
because my home was destructed.
Yeah.
Because of that. So I was one of those children who was affected by a cheating parent. So meaning financially, emotionally, everything. So it changes if you're married. It changes a lot of things. But getting back to the slavery part, when you don't have a lot to choose from,
right, you just take what you can get.
Right.
And just to piggyback off what you were saying, also in my book I talk about cause my dad, me and my sister, we weren't bastards. My mom was married to my dad, and we grew up watching him take care of other people's children, and that affected me. And it's so funny that you say that, because this coming June and next month, I'll be actually finally I've been estranged from my dad for decades,
Wow.
And he's nonverbal now. He had a stroke over 20-something years ago, but I feel like it's been a blockage. It's been holding me back for a long time. There's a lot of things that I need to say to him. No malice or anything like that, because I'm really in a good space in order to talk to him. And another thing, I'm named after his mom. His mom's name is Bernice as well.
Oh.
So I always took offense to that. Why would somebody name you due to the absence of my father's presence? So
tell me
it's
about
very
it.
important for women to grow up with a father figure, a male role model.
It really is, because I am one of those women.
Yeah.
And it has affected every relationship that I've had. And I always be like, okay,
I tried to think, the impact you might have on somebody. Right.
I've treated men. I've treated some bad. Before on the show, that when I'm dating, if a man doesn't call me, oh my God, throws me off.
Years ago, maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, I went to a mastermind seminar, and one of the little situations that they wanted us to do is, it was an arrow that we had, and they placed the point of it right here, and then you had to trust the person on the other end to push it and break it. But on the end of the arrow, you had to write what fear you wanted to break. And on the end of my arrow, I wrote the fear of never loving my dad. That was the fear that I wanted to break, right? Mm-hmm. So everybody was like, who's going first? Because the guy that did the seminar was like, now if you do it the wrong way, you could actually injure the person, blah, blah, blah. So because it resonated with me so deeply, I was like, I want to go first. So I went first, and then it broke. I was like, good. But then I still wasn't able to go to him and say anything about it. So I was telling you earlier when I first walked in, my brother just passed away in last May. He passed away May 16. And so one day, I realized they kept saying the same thing over, Dad didn't do anything to beat us. And I was like, wait a minute, are you serious? All this time, I was jealous because y'all had him, and I really didn't even miss anything. So he was buried last year on June 2nd on my sister's birthday. My sister and my brother are 9 days apart, different mothers, okay? Anyways, and when I was at the funeral, I realized that I kept looking at my dad. He was on the front row crying, and I was just getting upset. I was so angry. Because me and my brother used to always talk about, when I come up there, we're gonna talk to him. We're gonna tell him, we're gonna confront him. So now, this has more meaning for me this coming June, next month, when I go there, that I do this in honor of my brother as well, because I now know that he died with hurt in his heart. And I'm getting emotional when I talk about him. There's a lot of people out there. I have a lot of people who really respect what I do, who really resonate with, my true life testaments or whatnot. And there's no reason for me to Oh, I've got many for him. I have 3 CDs. And it's I so she's like, well, let me call your sister. Let me see where he stays. I said, no, he lives around here somewhere. Now, mind you, I hadn't been there in decades to see him or where he lived, and I kept driving. Then all of a sudden we pulled over, and I said, well, let's just sit here and wait for the call. So I looked across my mom. I looked up, and I was like, this is the house right here. And she was like, well, how you know? And I was like, this is it. I feel like this is it. So I get out. I'm going. She's like, well, hold on. Let me go with you. I'm knocking on the door. Nobody comes. But I wouldn't leave the front door until somebody opened the door. And as soon as we were about to walk off, he opened the door. And I just felt in my spirit that was his home. And when I went in, it was like it was so empty. But the whole time there, I don't have any type of connection to him. Like, totally detached. But you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, and the best way that I could respect that I'm more emotionally mature and I'm in a different level.
I like that. Emotional.
Right. Because before
I'm working on that.
Snap, crackle, and pop on him. But
Right.
you know, now he just needs to hear it. I think it might help him also.
Yes.
You know? I think it will. Because nobody has ever probably addressed him in that manner. And I feel like him being silenced, that was the universe's way of saying that, you know what, you need to listen. Because there's nothing he can say now. He's literally nonverbal. So,
You know, I used to always want to know why I didn't have my father.
right.
And so I went looking astrologically. My Saturn is in Gemini. And so, although I'm a Virgo, my horizon is Sagittarius, I was meant to be a philosopher to the world.
Right.
It's stated that I would never be able to have done this, and I say that for you too, had my dad been present.
Right.
So for you,
I don't have any.
maybe you wouldn't have all of these smoking words, and maybe you wouldn't have all that strength if you had him, and if you were daddy's little boy.
Yeah.
So your advancement would have been limited because you would have had a different experience. And so I say the same thing. Once I discovered that, it was easier for me not to resent him because it was universally guided for him not to be there.
Right.
He was the same as you. He was there with my brother and my sister. They were a family. And then I came along. He's never told me that he was proud of me. He's never told me that I was beautiful. None of those things. And I always wanted to know why. But then as I started to look and find out who I was and how the universe had created me, I began to accept him and love him and be like, you know what? It wasn't your fault. It was divinely guided for you to not be here. So that as I reach and I elevate and I grow, I can do so well because I know I can't not lean on him. And this is supposed to teach me something in relationships. It's supposed to teach me more about love. It's an unconditional love for people and forgiveness.
Definitely forgiveness.
Yes.
That's why I'm glad that I actually did forgive him.
Yes.
He probably doesn't know that, but acted me.
And your relationships.
Oh, God, Jesus.
Right.
Oh, I've treated so many people so horrible. I'm so sorry to everyone that I've treated bad. But I didn't know, I didn't know. Hurt people. You know, you treat people how you feel about yourself. And at the time, I didn't love myself. So it was very easy for that to transcend and to transition into whoever was the closest person to me. I used to treat my mom bad because my dad, you know what I mean? Because she was the closest one to me. So, but
Now, how is you and your mother's relationship now?
my mom's dope. She was always dope. My mom is my best friend. She knows everything I do. I love her because she's so straight up with me.
Right.
Like, she won't lie to you.
Okay.
She'll be here for the fashion show. Yeah.
Okay, well, hopefully I'll get a chance to come out.
I hope so. I'll
And-
send you an invite.
Yes, no doubt.
Yeah.
I'm very, very proud of you and the progression that you are making. And I'll say advancement. I like that when you use that word because some people get a plateau. They're just like, oh, I've made this and I've accomplished this and I've done this, da. And
Yeah, 'cause they take advantage. Not
no,
advantage.
the journey is still going. Ascending and the transformation that takes place while you're here, so that you can elevate, and then the people that are in your circle can elevate and grow with you, even when you Transcend.
But you know what? It's so crazy. Square. It's very, very. They don't need, because that's worse than death. You know, living life not knowing what your purpose is. And there's so many people that are walking around like doing that, like zombies. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to tap in.
A lot of people ask me why I quit my job to do this.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm living my dream.
Right. You're living through your dreams. You're right.
I don't know how many days I have left.
Right.
So before I leave, I'm gonna say I did it.
Yeah.
I did it, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing and walking in your purpose and doing what the universe has lined up for you to do, and you're just walking around fighting the forces every day and doing nothing, you are already 6 feet under.
Right. And a lot of people, they go to these jobs they don't like I love what I do.
Yes.
And my purpose in life, I believe, is to inspire people to reach, you know, higher heights. That's my thing, you know. So I love what I do. It's not about money, you know, because to me, being successful,
You want to be on that platform where you know, because you know what? He is going to make sure, as long as obedience is better than sacrifice. So as long as I'm being obedient to what the universe says I'm supposed to be, the direction and the flow and where I'm supposed to go, he's going to provide, and he's going to put the players and the people right there to give me exactly what I need.
right.
I don't worry about it, because the birds, they not worried about the little food they finna walk around and eat, and the little crumbs you drop that they full,
Right.
because they trust him and they know.
You gotta trust the process.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people, they try to change, you know, the blueprint. Like, your footsteps have already been ordered, so you just gotta trust the process.
That is so true.
You know, and I'm just now learning all of this. It's so crazy, but I'm really glad that the universe has aligned me with people who can put me back on path when I lose focus, and that's why it's very important to surround yourself with your kind likes or your like comments. You know,
That's true.
I'm being very intentional about that. All my friends, look, they be EFTing, chanting, meditating,
Yes.
Nam-myoho-renge-kyo, like all of that. You know, they
Well,
vegans, all that stuff.
No, I don't do all of the chanting, but I do the meditation.
Binaural beats.
I haven't tried the
Frequencies.
beads, but I just sit
That's
and
meditation.
I do cross my legs and all the Indian style stuff, and I love my candles,
Yeah.
so I'm very eccentric when it comes to that, and I meditate,
Yeah.
and I love to manifest. I love to manifest,
Yeah.
because once the Creator has shown me and given me the vision,
Yeah.
oh, it's on popping. Hey.
Yeah.
So that manifestation comes through that solitude.
Yeah.
But so many people are afraid of being alone that they miss the voice that they should be hearing instead of all the chatter.
Yeah, and it's crazy, and I tell people that all the time, like, pay attention, your intuition is trying to tell you something. Like, people like, I should have followed my first mind. That's your intuition. When you hear those voices, like, that's your sixth sense, your third eye is your sixth sense. It just all makes sense, like, this.
But if you slow down
Yeah,
and if you have that solitude,
yeah,
you can
can hear it.
absolutely hear.
yeah, you can.
But sometimes when you're so over here, over there,
Yeah,
then she's telling you something. He's telling you something. You can't hear nothing.
yeah, it's true.
And now you all confused. When I see that people are double-minded, oh my God, I remember the word. The double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
I never heard of that.
It's in the Bible.
Okay.
Yes. You either are or you ain't.
Yeah,
Because now you're unstable.
yeah.
And I have nothing against if you decide to go both ways.
Right.
But that confusion, go that way or go that way.
Right.
You can't be on both sides of the fence.
She said that, y'all.
No, because I don't care which way you go.
Right.
Because I love you either way. That has nothing to do with me. Your preference has nothing to do with me. But what I'm trying to tell you is that when you are unstable,
Right.
when you're double-minded about your standards, that's just like, oh, I think I want to work over here at McDonald's because they pay $9.25, but I like working over here at Burger King because they got the black uniform and they pay $9.
Right.
So you double-minded.
Right.
You either want to work at McDonald's or Burger King.
But I have a lot of friends that are in the life, though. You know, and
And the life is good.
That's true, and it's crazy because my spirit sister is in the light, and like I used to be kind of like, and I'm just be honest, I used to be very homophobic, but it wasn't until, and I was opinionated, and I'm not calling you opinionated because to each his own, and I also have a son, my older son is a homosexual as well, but knowing his story, you know what I mean, and then meeting my spirit sister, like I don't even think about it at all. Like I'll be with her sometimes, and I'll wonder what people. I don't wonder what people are looking at, and then I'll be thinking like they probably think they're like,
right.
Because we're just like on some other stuff. When we get together, we build. We're looking at listening to Les Brown or Infinite Waters. Abraham Hicks. Right. We doing our spiritual work, so it's so secondary to me.
Well, I'm gonna put a shocker on you. I'm not homophobic. One,
I know.
I've been with a woman. Two, but I know that I'm not. I know when I say the double-minded, I know that I like men.
Right.
And I was with a woman because I was molested as a child.
Right.
So that was my first sexual experience, and I didn't know that it was never. When your parents don't talk to you about sex,
right,
and that this is supposed to be this way, this is supposed to be that way, then you're kind of like thrown off.
Right.
But at that age, I don't feel like you're double-minded. When you're an adult, you either know if you like eggs or you don't like eggs. So that's what I'm saying. And I'm not, trust me, I'm not, because I have a lot of friends who are. But I know what I prefer, and that's getting off another subject, but I'm not homophobic at all. When I say I love my transgender, everybody, because we are all people.
Right.
God has created us all, no matter what choices and what path we take.
Right.
And no one knows, because yes, I come and I do my television show and I do this, what I've been through.
Right.
What choices I've made as a young adult.
True.
So I've traveled that road. So I've done some things, but I'm not.
She has said.
Right. And I'm not ashamed, because you're not the judge.
Right.
You can't judge me for what I've done, where I've been, who I've slept with. That was me, and I've got to answer to me and the universe.
Right.
That's who I check in with. So I don't care about what people say. Oh my God, Stoney Love slept with a woman.
Right.
I'm sure I'm gonna get phone calls about it. But, it is what it is.
It's crazy. Women are attracted to me too. It's so funny. They'll be like, "Well, I didn't know if."
Right.
Like, what am I doing? But
I get it all the time, and I still get it all the time now. And I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
But let me give you a hug.
Right.
Just go keep.
Right. Just keep it at a distance, like.
Right. That kind of, because I don't want to send. I'm not confused.
Right.
So I don't want to send mixed signals to people that I am when I'm not. But I love everybody, and that may get me in trouble.
Right. And
it just might, but I don't care, because we're supposed to have love for our brothers and sisters, in spite of whatever we've gone through. But it has been such a pleasure talking with you today. And can you leave us with one more spoken word, please?
Oh, wow. I'll just say this was really, really short. Judge me from the inside out, not from the outside in. You never know what kind of person I am if you can't see what lies within. Yeah, I might be the one with snake tattoos, but one day save your life, while the one who looks just like you sit back and watches.
Word from Bernice Venom Brown. Did I say that right?
Bernice Venom Brown.
Right. Bernice Venom Brown. Oh, that sounds like it. Now tell everybody where they can find you, because I know they want to get a copy of your books.
Cool.
They want to, yes.
So on Amazon.com, if you type in Bernice Venom Brown, I have 16 publications.
Yay.
I'm
gonna check it out.
And I'm on all social media like Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at, the @ sign. Strange Things.
No doubt. Now tomorrow, guys, I hope that you tune in. We're gonna have author Kim Cottrell, and we may have other special guests. I'm not sure, but I do know that tomorrow Kim Cottrell will be in the studio, and she will be bringing an autographed copy of her book. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in to the Stoney Love Atlanta Morning Show today. And you already know, I'll see you in the morning.